So you're saying, but I thought, didn't Muslim religion start with the Quran?
No, that's a clear misconception that people have. It did not.
But you call yourselves Muslim?
Yes. So we believe even the time of Abraham, they called them Muslim. For example, today you say Jesus, right?
Yeah.
But that's not an Aramaic word, right? Jesus wouldn't call himself Jesus, right?
Yeah.
That's an English Latinized word,
Right.
right?
Yes, right.
So Isa is closer to the Aramaic root of what is actually means, right? In that Muslim means Aslama. Aslama means to submit. So we believe that from the time of Abraham and before him, they were all Muslims in the native tongue. Right? Today, when you look at the word Bible, it's a Latinized word.
Yeah.
Even the prophet Jesus, he didn't say Bible, right?
No.
He spoke Aramaic.
Right.
The earliest biblical scriptures we have today are in Koine Greek,
Yes.
right? Which wasn't the language of Jesus.
That's right.
He spoke Aramaic.
Yeah.
So we believe that every prophet, whether it was Moses or Abraham or Noah or David or Solomon, they were all Muslims because they submitted themselves to their Creator. See,
But they acted differently.
how?
Well, I mean, they followed, you always see that they followed the Old Testament.
Sure, but that is what they were supposed
Which the Catholics don't do now. They say they only follow the New Testament.
I feel
And
it.
they use the Old Testament as a historical document.
Right.
Like, I mean, they say, if somebody slaps you on the face, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. Yeah. I mean, that's the New Testament.
So what I'm saying is, when Moses was there, peace be upon him, and he brought his message to his people, and they followed him, they were Muslims because they followed the testament of their time and the prophet of their time. When Jesus, peace be upon him, came, the people had to leave the Old Testament and follow the New Testament, even though they still believed and respected the Old Testament because that's still the words of God, right? But there was corruption.
Oh, y'all Spanish brothers? You need Spanish Quran?
I mean,
Yes. This is the New Testament. You talk about Jesus saying that bring those who didn't want me to reign in front of me and slaughter them in my presence. That's in the New Testament. So if you want to take verses out of context, the Bible will have more violent verses than the Quran. But the thing is, those are people who pervert the messages, right? Like the guy who shot the synagogue or the one who went to the church, the masjid in New Zealand. Those are people who take the Bible and they pervert it. We believe the message of Jesus was a message of love. And we believe that's the message of Muhammad and Moses and Abraham, peace be upon all of them. Right? You have the Quran, you will not find any verse in here that preaches violence. You will only find things that talk about defending yourself or a time of war that can be perverted. But if you look at the verses before it or after it, you would know these are all messages of peace.
so the Muslims don't separate people, have a certain name for people who don't believe.
Sure they do.
What they do?
Yeah,
What do they call it?
For example, if somebody is a mushrik, they associate something else with Allah, they're called mushrikeen. If somebody is from Jews and Christians, they're called Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book. Right?
What happens if they don't believe? What do they call them?
What do you mean? I just told you.
Oh,
right?
right.
So the issue is somebody who does kufr, somebody who hides the truth is called a kafir, right? Just like in Jews, if you're a non-believer, you call it Gentile, right?
Yeah.
Right? So the word infidel, for example, is a Christian-based word, not an Arabic word, right? Christians used to call non-believers infidels, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that they're going to be killed or massacred or something, right? But obviously there's a difference between a believer and a non-believer, right? So
You can't massacre somebody.
of course, like the Spanish Inquisition.
If they don't believe, I mean,
Right.
if you're in physics and you don't understand something, you don't massacre the professor.
I agree with you. Who does that? Like the
Yeah.
Spanish Inquisition,
Yeah.
when they massacred.
No, that was all wrong.
That was wrong, right?
Yeah.
But they did it in the name of Christ, right?
Yeah, but it was wrong. And we represent, we know it's wrong today.
And we agree with that.